everyone. Thanks for joining us on a Saturday afternoon, and we're glad to welcome you to the fourth episode of the Marketing Lens. And as Peter mentioned, today we'll be covering do-it-yourself marketing tools, which will be all about what are these different tools that all of us can utilize to create content, to distribute content, to manage our social media better. We know the way that the hospitality industry is moving towards. There will be challenges that will be coming forward. It could be budget challenges, and it could be multiple things that we need to accommodate. And at the same point of time, we have these set of tools which are so user friendly, which are so nice, and creates a good impression of the brand on digital media. So why not we go through it, we dive into it, learn a lot more about it. We'll show you some examples on how they can be utilized best. We'll try to give you some tips around. So, one thing that I want to make it clear about this topic is that it's that kind of a topic that if you search online, you've got like multiple lists to go through, right? Like everyone has their own list of toolkits that they prefer or they suggest. Why? And I think this was a suggestion which came in from Preetham, and that's how we started, exploring this topic. We wanted to showcase only the tools which we have personally used, right? Which we have used. We have used it on campaigns. We have seen that they're user friendly, they're cost effective, and at the same time they give us the results that we want to. Hence, we've carefully crafted this list, and we would love to dive into it and take you through it. As always, please feel free to put in as many questions as you might have when we are going through the presentation, and we would love to take that through. Yeah. And I'm glad again to have Preetham, a good friend. I've absolutely enjoyed working on every campaign that we've got the opportunity to work together with. And it's exciting to host the fourth session, and I'm hoping that we'll have a lot more going forward.
Sure. Even I'm looking forward to this session. And as we have come to this journey of the fourth marketing lens series, we have also learned a lot while doing our research for these presentations. We keep discussing a lot, and whatever we are going to share, it's from our own personal learning and our own journeys. So
Absolutely.
the agenda that we have today has got very clear, distinct areas that we will be covering. First and foremost, we'll look at the marketing basics. So before we even start looking at these tools, what are that we should be ready with? How is the agency and the client side evolving? And what does it mean for Shiva as an agency? And what does it mean for me and for you as hotels? What are the solutions that these tools are going to give us? What are the problems they are going to solve? And based on that, we have bifurcated them into different sections. We'll go through each sections with the examples that we thought were the best suited for today's time. We'll conclude with a revamped strategy and what we should do be doing going forward. And while we're taking question answers throughout this session, if we have left something, we'll be covering that at the end of the session. To start with, I want to cover the marketing basics. So while the tools will be there, and if you see, we have kept it in the third position, they will be helping us with the required technology. They will be helping us in improving the efficiency, bringing automation and prioritize our spending. But before we get to the tools, it is very important that we have our marketing strategy in place. What I mean by that is we must be clear about why we are doing what we are doing, how we are going to do it, and what is the measurable goal that we are looking at the end of all this. And teamwork. While we all are away from our offices, it is more important that we collaborate with our teams and continue working like before, not only to finalize and formulate the strategy, but also to execute it. If you have the strategy in place, the next important thing is creativity. Now, creativity is something which is very qualitative, which we can't define in clear words. But for me, creativity is, how can you combine two aspects, something that's already very popular and something that you want to promote in a way that it creates that wow effect. For creativity, you need imagination and you need peace of mind. So if you are coming up with a campaign idea, while it is a great sense to look at what other colleagues or other hotels have done, it is very important if you go inside yourself, have some peace of mind, and really think through it. When you cut off yourself from the normal noise, you will get some amazing ideas and solutions. So you have to inculcate that. And with creativity and strategy in place, the tools that we are going to share will be a very important step towards your marketing success. So the next topic is the evolution. And of course, we are talking in the COVID context. So what has happened all this while, since March, and how do I think that the roles have been changing? Shiva, just let us elaborate on this. How do you think the agency role is changing post-COVID in terms of how you are being perceived by hotels in the type of support that you should be giving them now?
Right. Thanks, Preetham. So I think moving on from where Preetham left, like, that they're the marketing basics, which are all about strategizing, having the right strategy in place, then moving on to creativity, and then the tools that we're going to dive into. So the strategy is the key, right? And I think earlier pre-COVID era, we've faced this issue that the how agencies are a lot of time perceived is that they're there to manage your profiles or create different types of communication, but that end goal has never been clarified. Like there's always been that kind of a gap, whether it's in the contract or whether it's about how the agency is perceived in the hotel industry, right? So in the hospitality industry, we've usually seen agency being given a mandate of managing social media, which is more about managing the profile rather than having that performance-driven objective attached to it. And I think obviously post COVID, when we are so careful about our budget spends, that entire dynamics is going to change. And as from an agency point of view, also we feel that the dynamic shift is important, right? I think it's in a way you have to move away from your existing traditional contracts, what you used to do earlier, whether it was a social media management contract or it was a creative design contract. You need to move towards more measurable, objective-oriented campaigns, right? And I think that's where the entire shift is going to happen. The agency needs to be activated on more of objective-based marketing campaigns, which have been well thought through, which have a measurable goal attached to it. And obviously, I think bringing in something new, which helps the clients really move forward. Like I think one of the sessions where we took up all about AR and VR. Now, these are the tools which are going to take us ahead. So might as well engage your agencies towards that, building that kind of a marketing asset for yourself. So I think that's where the basic relationship between an agency and a client in the hospitality sector is going to change. We are no longer going to be perceived as uh, just someone who's there managing profile. I think the relationship is going to become more strategic in nature and more performance oriented.
Right. And given the cost factors, what we are suggesting is that hotels will need to do the day-to-day regular task on their own. They should invest wisely. They should be saving money from what they were spending earlier on doing regular creatives for an agency and use them for actual ROI-driven campaigns. And they have to look at both short-term, day-to-day needs that they need to fulfill in terms of making collaterals or small videos, which they can do in-house, while when they're looking at a long-term approach and in terms of a strategic approach, an agency comes in. And we should not shy away from testing new technologies, because what worked yesterday can demolish us today. We have to look
Right.
at new solutions of the new world.
Right.
So with that, I think both the sides need to involve, and that's the reason why we do these calls, because we can look at both these aspects and come to a 360-degree conclusion.
Correct.
So we have divided tools into four different segments based on how are they going to help us, and we'll straight away dive onto them. The first one is knowledge driven, how we can be aware of what's happening around us and make proper use of it. How do we make those beautiful creatives in house in real time in a cost effective manner? uh, how do we distribute them well, manage their impact, and of course find the result that they have done for us so that we can learn and keep improvising. The first segment is knowledge and collaboration, uh, which is about how do we not only understand what's happening around us, but work as a team. Because if you do a campaign based on what you personally think is right, so on one man's judgment, it is not going to help. When we have got a group coming together, when we put up ideas and somebody negates one idea, and you come up with something better, that's where collaboration brings that very value. So we have got some beautiful tools that can help in both of these, and these are BuzzSumo and Miro. And Shiva, please elaborate on how we can use both of them.
Sure. So I think, first of all, before I begin into this session, I would request everyone that if there are some other tools that you have probably utilized while doing these activities, and if you feel that they really work, please do put it in the chat box so that we could probably take those up also, or hear you out on what your experience has been with that particular tool. Um, Beginning any marketing campaign, I think it's very important to have uh, the right knowledge and the right data points so that you start building your strategy on that, right? I mean, I think that's the first thing. And in the previous slide, it had a very important point which was mentioned that every marketing campaign is collaborative and it's based on some type of data points or knowledge. And this is a tool that I absolutely love. And my first question to everyone on the call is going to be, how do you guys keep yourselves updated? It could be updated about um, the field of work or the industry that you're working in or the new tools. How does anyone keep themselves updated? I think if someone can just put it in the chat box, that'll be wonderful. And that was the biggest question that we as an agency also had, that, how do we keep ourselves updated? How do we make sure that, as soon as something new is launched, a trend is being picked up? How do we become the first ones to put it out? That was always the challenge. And that's when our content team really found out this tool, and it became a success. And I think a lot of companies all over the world are using this tool, and it's called BuzzSumo. So BuzzSumo is typically a tool which helps you identify top performing content in the World Wide Web relating to a topic that you have in mind. So let's say I just put in a keyword saying hospitality. It shows me all the type of content related to hospitality which is doing well. And that gives me an idea of what people are talking about, what my guests are thinking about or talking about. And that's the first feature of this beautiful tool called BuzzSumo. It's discovery. It lets you discover the right type of content which is being picked up by people, which is being talked about. It shows the number of shares, number of reshares of all the content related to hospitality on the World Wide Web. So it's a very curated base, and you can set triggers and alarms. So let's say there are 4 different types of industries that I want to keep myself updated about. I can just put those triggers, and the top performing content keeps on coming to me, and that becomes my repository of readings, right? So that's what I do. By the end of the day, I'm making sure, or the morning, I'm making sure I'm going through all those articles, all those famous posts. It even gives me a trend trigger. A trend trigger basically means that it shows that this topic is really being talked a lot about, and it can turn into a trend. So
Right.
that really helps us identify the right trend and start making content and become probably the first or the second in the market to bring out something related to that. The second very beautiful feature about this is research. So if you're looking at curating a lot of content for your client, let's say you're talking about a specialty restaurant and you want to teach them about the cuisine and you want to pick up some content from the web, then the research section is so nice because you can just put in the topics and they again identify the right type of content related to your business and they start pushing it out to you. Influence, they even map out influencers, so they show you that, okay, if you're talking about, let's say, Oriental cuisine, then they will talk about who are the influencers in your area who specialize in that. They will also talk about what are these pages on Facebook or Instagram which are highly pushing content related to Oriental cuisine. And then you've got the right type of influencers to collaborate. So that's another beauty of this tool. And then the last is obviously monitoring. So if I want to keep a track, let's say I've created a hashtag for a campaign and I want to keep a track of whether that's being utilized or not, or that's being picked up by media houses or not, then I can just put those in and it gets monitored. Uh,
Amazing.
and On the cost end, like, when we look at personal apps, obviously it's an expensive app. It's built more towards agencies. It's built more towards individual businesses. So that's why you can see it's a 7,000 a month initial cost that's there on this app. You have a 7-day free trial to just play around with the app. But it's such a good app that you need to have this in your toolkit. And a pro tip, because I love using this tool, my content team loves using this tool. There's a question analyzer. So question analyzer is basically, it helps you find out what is the top question that your guest or your clientele is asking on the web. Now, isn't that like the thing that all of us as marketers want, right? We want to know what are our guests talking about, or what is that question that I can help them solve, right? And this is the wonderful feature of BuzzSumo, and that's why that's my first suggestion to any client, that get on board with BuzzSumo. It's very suitable for suitable for hotels who have a large content bag. So if you have multiple restaurants within your hotel and you have on a daily basis, you've got to push out a lot of content. I think BuzzSumo is the platform to curate that content for you. I can see just two questions also up there, which is BuzzSumo an app? Yes, so they have both web-based and app feature as well. So you can, I think it's iOS, so probably you can't find it on Play Store, but the web feature is also beautiful. And I would recommend going onto the web one. Then thank you, Pooja, for telling us that newsletters keep you updated. The second tool which I talk about is Miro. Miro is my current favorite tool, and I think Preetham knows it because if there's any ideation, even the marketing lens, it was conceptualized on the Miro board.
Right.
So being in the agency and being in the creative field, something that I missed out as soon as we went into the lockdown was having our office room where we had our whiteboards, we had our sticky notes, we had our markers, right? Because that's how we love brainstorming. We like to put up ideas, throw ideas to each other. But unfortunately, once the lockdown entered, we did not have that luxury. So we were seeing each other on screens and we still had to somehow brainstorm. So Miro is actually a whiteboard app where different people can come in, join in, and it's like a whiteboard where you can start collaborating, drawing, putting sticky notes. So it's like a virtual whiteboard for you. And the other beauty of this app is that there are so many templates that they've given inside the app. So for example, if I'm trying to work on a marketing campaign, right? So what are the steps that I should clear out in a marketing campaign? Like I should know my goals. What am I trying to achieve? I should know my tool set. What all do I have? I should know the consumer persona. Who am I trying to target? And then I can start breaking down my campaign into social media, offline, web-based, right? So they have these templates where you just click on the template and then the team can start putting in their data. Okay, I think this is going to work. So it's a wonderful collaborative app, and I suggest everyone to go onto it. It's free. So if you have 3 different whiteboards that you want to use, it's free. If you want to go beyond that, it's 600 rupees a month. How can hotels use this tool? I think this is something that I did try with a couple of hotels beginning, and it really worked wonders because inside a hotel now you've got various departments, and so many departments have social media champions sitting inside. Like the F&B department might just have someone who's very good with clicking photos or who has some brilliant ideas. So I usually tell hotels that try to identify right people across every team, because a hotel is not just about F&B or selling rooms. There's so many parts to it, right? So we used to create groups inside the hotel, and that time we used to create it on WhatsApp. We had someone from housekeeping, someone from F&B, someone from the front office, then obviously the marketing team. And we used to use this app to generate a lot of content coming from in-house and putting it together. And the agency used to shortlist what content should go up and not. The same entire practice can be taken up on Miro board. You can give access to your identified social media champions within the company, take their ideas, take their content, and just start putting it on one table together. So now you have your entire strategy at one place. So I think, I'm already excited talking about these 2 tools because, on a daily basis, I use them so much. So I highly recommend using these 2 tools.
Right. And on that note, the idea of teams across departments collaborating and discussing is an amazing one. And at this time when physically we can't meet or there's risk in traveling, I think the value becomes much more. So, you can keep on typing your questions. I'll just show a video where we just elaborate this, how this app works a bit more so that you have got a clear idea and you can right away start diving into it.
Meet Kevin. He's used to running a bunch of meetings and workshops with his team around a whiteboard. But suddenly, everyone's remote. What happens now? Easy. Let's move everything online. Go to Miro.com, sign up, and jump right in. Add an agenda with goals for the session. Get started fast with the right templates. Create a structure, add frames, and lock any content you don't want people to mess with. Now, send out the invites. Finally, it's the moment of truth. Set the right vibe. Align everyone around goals. Go over the basic tools. Start with an icebreaker to warm everyone up. Keep the group focused, engaged, and productive. Summarize what's been done and discuss the next steps. Transform the results into a presentation on the spot, or wait until later. Run a quick retrospective. Give everyone a high five. The team did great. Your team can accomplish great things in Miro too. Try it for yourself.
With that, we'll move on to the next section, which is creatives, and which is something I am personally very excited about, because that's what we end up doing and discussing most of the times, and debating, what creative is better and who has done a greater job at that. So here we have got neat 4 recommendations that again are the tools that we have been using. And the first one is Canva, where you can design anything. You can make any creatives, you can make videos, and even you can make landing pages dummies so that you can get it approved and then later publish it. While most of the features in Canva is free, you have got some 800 templates and all to use and a lot of images. However, if you go for a pro version, which is at INR 10,000 per year, you get an unlimited almost access to images and templates, and you can virtually just think of an idea and you'll have a template and images to support you very much there. And it's a very user friendly app, and I am sure lots of our colleagues are using it, so we won't go into detail of how Canva works like we did for Miro, but we definitely recommend this one. The second one, which is InShots, and which is Shiva's favorite, and even I have been trying it lately, is a very easy app which you can use to shoot and edit videos on your smartphone, add features, add music, add effects, and you are ready to publish it. The free version has got the InShots branding into it, while if you go for a pro version, which is only at INR 1000 for 1 year, which is I think a very steal deal, it gets you lot more features in terms of access to a bigger music pool, lot more effects, lot more edit elements, and you can virtually rule the game of creating video content on the go as much as you want, publish, share, and just rock the scene with it. The third one is iStock Photos in this sequence. Why I'm recommending this is that while you're working on Canva InShots, you might still need a lot of Indian images and video stock footage, and this site has a lot of them. And the fact that the pro version comes at only INR 13,000 per year makes it a lot valuable. At this cost, you can actually get 10 images per month for every month for the year, and that is a quite good amount which will be able to suffice all your needs. And compared to other stock sites, the price is on a lesser side. The last and exciting app that we have kept for today's topic is Pixaloop. Pixaloop is basically takes your images and literally adds life onto them, and the effects that you see with Pixaloop is just amazing. And the pro version is again at only ANA 1.5 thousand per year. So with this price points between InShots and Pixaloop, you unlock amazing creativity on your fingertips at your ease without the need of a high-end photo editing app or a high-end stop system. So this is really cool. And in the next slide, I'll give an example of how Pixaloop works. Before that, Shiva, you want to add something on InSorts or some other apps?
Right. So I think I'll just quickly like sum it up, because all of us probably have heard about these apps quite a bit, or probably used it also. But how we use it is a very important question, right? So Canva, again, as Preetham said, so on an agency basis, we use the Adobe suite, right? We have Photoshop, Illustrator, After Effects, Premiere Pro. That's something that we are using to make content for you. But on a day-to-day basis, the content can actually be replicated on Canva. And how that can be done is, you already have your brand guidelines, you already have your visual identities in place. Go through it, try to understand the color schemes better, try to make sure that you understand the placing of your logos correct, right? I think those are some basic knowledge that we should always absorb before we start creating content. It's very important that we do that. And then when you move on to Canva, whether you use the web service or you use the app, they have such beautiful templates, as Preetham rightly mentioned, that we can always choose the right template, choose the right color scheme. Some basics are very important, like making sure that the colors are not conflicting, or making sure that your text, if there's any text on your creative, it's visible. If it's not visible, there's no point keeping that text on your creative, right? Avoid using text. So those are some basics that you should always keep. And I think a best practice document is what you should create around all of these tools when you're implementing it. Um, Another thing that I see is people trying to use a lot of logos on their creatives that they're making. So either try to get your PNG versions done and make sure that you always have them in handy, or this is the practice, and I think this is what Facebook also tells you, that if you're posting something on your page, it's not necessary to put a logo on. So that's just like a random tip that I'm just putting across, because I've seen that question coming up a lot of times when we've dealt with hotels. InShots, again, a beautiful app for doing all the basic video editing stuff together. And my suggestion to anyone or any hotel which is going to end up creating a video themselves is, keep each and every shot that you do small. Because when you try for you don't get the right shots. Let's just always make sure that we create different short videos and then try to put them together. I think that's what we do. I thought, as Preetham mentioned, it's a really good subscription, because it has a lot of Indianized images, which is the way to go forward. And Pixaloop, you have your brand photos done, or you have your exceptional F&B photos. When you want to add that extra flair to it, Pixaloop really helps. In fact, on an agency level, also you used it so many times when you just want to add a little bit more life to your image. It's a wonderful tool, and I think all of these are very cost effective.
Right. And you know what? The takeaway that we should have from this one is that from the logo part, as you just mentioned, if
Yeah,
you are making any creative which is going to be loaded on your own platforms, maybe your YouTube, your website, your Facebook page, your Instagram page, which already has got the logo and the name of your hotel very much featuring. So there is
correct.
no point repeating that. You can focus on the message.
Right.
However, when you're making those creatives for a third party platform, you're creating a display ad that will go up on a Tripoto site or go to another site which won't carry your logo, obviously. In
Right.
that case, it is very important that your logo is neat, nice, and clear, and it connects back to your
Yeah.
organization.
Yeah. And let the picture speak, and let the write more than the words on the creative. I think that's something which is important. And once you have your creative apps in place, I think something which is very important is to make sure that your copy is correct, your grammar, your spelling, everything is correct. So this is another tool that, I mean, not just for on the client version, it's just for personal use as well. Because we are sending out so many emails, right, to our clients, or we are talking to so many people. You need to make sure that whatever you craft out as copy is perfect. And I'm sure that everyone on this call has heard of Grammarly. Most of you guys have already used it. What is the feature that I'm just going to recommend is that they have a wonderful Google Chrome extension, right? So it just gets attached on your Google Chrome. So whenever you're writing anything, whether it's an email, you're writing something on the social media platform, it automatically starts giving you suggestion. And Grammarly has gone to that level where it picks up the tonality as well. So like when I'm writing a mail, like I'm confused, like I'm writing a mail and I'm like, am I being over friendly, or am I like being too stern to a particular client that I'm talking to? And it just gives me the tone at the end. that, you know, this is perfect, like this is professional, it's sounding professional. So I think this, the Grammarly tool is a must that you need to have. Even apart from if you're not even creating content, I think it's something that everyone should have, and it's free. So why not?
Right. Uh, Even I have been using Grammarly for quite some time now. No, what happens when you have got less time and you have got more to do, you're in rush of writing emails, finishing off your PPT. There's chances that you end up doing some minor mistake on a grammatical side, which we have tools even on our own system to check with. But as you were mentioned, Grammarly takes it to the next level. It's not just about the spellings and grammar; it's about a tonality. What are you saying and how are you saying it, and when somebody reads it, how will he emote from that piece of content.
And
So
sorry, just one more feature that I remembered about
right,
Preetam was that, you know, with Grammarly on the advanced versions, you can even, so we work with a lot of different brands which have a lot of different tonality, right? And they have these
right,
words that, you know, really relate to the brand. So let's say if I'm working with a JW, it's about mindfulness. If I'm working with a Low Meridian, it's about the culture and the discovery aspect. So in that advanced settings, you can even mold it around that. So I know that if I'm writing a copy, and is it sounding like a JW copy or not? Is it sounding like a Low Meridian copy or not?
nice.
So I think that's really crazy about Grammarly, which a lot of people haven't really explored.
Right, and what how it is very easy to use is that, as you said, I have got the extension, Chrome extension done, and I work mostly on Google Chrome. So how it works that even when I'm on a Google slide or a Google Doc or on a Word document on the desktop, this has got access everywhere. You just need to give it a permission, and it will do the checking for you and trigger up all the mistakes that you have done, and you can just correct it and go ahead. So it saves you time. It ensures that your grammar and spelling is correct, and it also advises on tonality. With these three features, no cost, you must be going after this app if not doing it already.
Right.
With that, I'll just show you the magic of Pixel Loop. So we have taken a video example where there are certain images of Paris, and you can see the effects that the editor has been able to do with this app, and which you can also do using your images. So just enjoy this video, and if you've got any more questions or ideas around which apps you are using, and if you've got any app that you want to recommend, please feel free to put on the chat box. Hope you enjoyed these slides. One thing you must remember, these are not video clips. These are images, still images, which using this app, you have been able to give life. So when you see this escalator moving, it's actually still picture, but with the app, you have been able to create that effect because of which it looks like it is moving. So basically, in the previous images, you saw the skies, you saw the cloud movement. All that is not happening. That's the effect of this app. So you can create, you can select areas within the pictures and give them the movement that you would like to give. And there are a lot of examples that and things that you can do. I selected this one because it has got a destination effect, and whichever city you are in, you can create such crisp, fun videos around destinations using this app, and bring life to the monuments and promote them. And behind that, you can promote your brand and the hotel that you want to.
Correct.
So with that, we move on to the next section, which is another exciting one. Now we have done our strategy, we have created content, we have the research and data to give us trends. how do we make sure that this content is distributed well and we manage it efficiently? So we have got the app Buffer, which really helps in organizing and distributing this content. And Shiva is an advocate for this. So Shiva, please help us understand how can we use this particular one to manage our content distribution.
Sure. So I think what we covered from a content creation perspective, and I think a lot of people have different tool sets also that they utilize for content creation, right? So content creation is where really your creativity comes out, and you use multiple apps to get things together. But the other biggest challenge that I think people face in terms of is content management and distribution, right? Now you have all of these content which is being generated for various departments within your company, and you have a hold of it. You have an idea also about how you want to push it out under what objective. But how do you manage that load of content that you've created? How do you make sure it's going at the right time when your audience is awake or when your audience is most active? So now these were some of the issues that we also, as a young agency, we always had this issue that, how do we make sure that the post is going at that perfect, absolute, dot point of time when the guests are most active, and how do we constantly push it across different platforms? And that's where we got introduced to this beautiful tool, which is called Buffer. So again, Buffer has some crazy options. It's a tool which can help you publish your content. So if I have that beautiful, let's say, picture that I've created on Pixaloop, now I want to make sure that it goes up on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, different platforms. But I know that it needs to go at an odd timing that I might be busy doing something else, right? And I think that's going to be a challenge that a lot of marketing team people are going to face, because you've got multiple things to look at, and at the same time you've got to make sure that the post also goes up. So Buffer helps you publish and schedule your posts, and I think and it helps you schedule posts across Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter. I think that's a very important feature. This feature is available in a lot of other tools. If you look at, I think some of the famous ones are Hootsuite, Later. All of these tools have this feature, but why I prefer Buffer so much is because they have a lot more added to it. So even if I want to tag certain people for a post that I'm putting tomorrow and I want to schedule it, I can tag all of those things. I can tag my products. They have a hashtag planner built in the app. So basically, if I have certain hashtags that I want to go with the post, they can put that up for us. They can even recommend what hashtags are going to be best when you're putting up a post. So it automates a lot of those things, which ends up taking a lot of your hours, right? And another feature that I really love is the link in bio, right? So all of us know who've been using Instagram quite a bit that when we put those beautiful content on our Instagram profile, Instagram doesn't allow you to have links in your post, right? The only opportunity for you to have a link is in your bio. So what Buffer does is it creates a link in your bio, and then when you click on that link, it starts mimicking your Instagram page. And if you click on any of the posts, you can have a CTA link attached to it. So it's again a tool which helps you, make more CTAs on Instagram, which is a wonderful functionality that I absolutely love. And then the Instagram tagging, that you can tag products also. Like let's say you have your certain food items in your photo, you can tag that, and people can probably go onto another website and complete the entire journey. I can see Payal writing that even Facebook has now introduced inbuilt publishing tool, which helps you to absolutely. So Facebook has had the scheduled tool for a long time now. So Facebook was still an easier game, but here with Buffer, I think it's a very important point is when you create a calendar. Let's say I have a 7-day content calendar, and I know what post is going which day. It helps you visualize also. So if I click on the button preview, I get how my Instagram feed is going to look for the next 7 days. So for a lot of brands, when you're working for lifestyle brands, they're very particular about the entire look of the feed, right? So that when people are scrolling down, it gives a nice impression of the brand. It helps me preview that prior to I posted all of that. So that visualization really helps me understand, okay, how I should put my post together so that it looks beautiful as a feed. So there are these certain features that work. And to complete this entire tool, they've got analytics attached to it. Now, I know that as soon as the month is over, I can just click in the button, and my entire report in terms of engagement, reach, impression, source market, everything is in place, and it's absolutely right because there's no human intervention in terms of the data which is being taken out. It's free for 14 days, so I would really recommend you guys to try it out. This tool has a lot of features, so don't get lost in the features. What I would suggest is use the features that you need, and you update your dashboard as per what you require. Moving on, it's an 1100 per month cost attached to it, which I feel is nothing compared to the time that saves. Because my account managers were having that issue. They were like, how do we put our head to the creative planning when most of my time is going on publishing the content at the right time, putting the right hashtags and all of that. So I think this tool is a huge relief. There are tools like Hootsuite, Later, HubSpot, which are equally good, but Buffer is my recommendation. HubSpot is good for like larger enterprises because HubSpot has so many more features. You can create a landing page, you can trigger email marketing. It's more detailed as a platform, which at this point of time might not be required.
Right.
Yeah.
We have more tools that, of course, help in distribution of our content. The first one is being WhatsApp for Business, and we have covered this in a lot of detail in the previous session. So you can go to our YouTube page and check that out. And I think at this point, most of the businesses and hotels are already using that. And it's an amazing tool to integrate with Facebook and Instagram. You can use it for CRM, and you can use for a chat-based or chat-first communication with your guest. And it has got all the amazing features that you have to explore. And the fact that it is free, there is no reason that you should not be on WhatsApp for Business by now. The next one is a QR code generator. So as we are entering into a contactless decade, we have to provide these QR codes at the right touch points where guests can scan them and be redirected to wherever we want them to go. We want them to maybe visualize a promotion or check our menu or maybe read our we care guidelines or the safety precautions that we're taking. There are endless use cases. And this tool is free when it comes to static tools. And the best part is that very recently they have made even a number of scans unlimited. So with if you're just going to use static codes with unlimited scans, this is a free tool that you must be already using. However, my recommendation is to go for the paid version, and I'll tell you why. So the paid version has also got dynamic QR codes, and the cost is around 12,000 per year for 50 dynamic QR codes. Now what this dynamic QR codes does is that while the QR code or the image that we generate remains the same, the landing page in the background can be changed at the flash of a second. So basically you have got a QR code put in a room, collateral, or on a lift landing, wherever. And right now you want to promote a food festival. So when somebody scans, it goes to that food promotion. Tomorrow your food promotion is over, right? And you want to promote maybe your spa or some other room offer or whatever you want to promote. So what would happen with the static codes is that you have to reprint that collateral QR code again, either the whole poster or the sticker, and have to put it there. But when you're having a dynamic QR code, you simply go onto the QR code generator panel and just change the landing page and you are done. From that very moment you have changed the landing page, the next person who scans that code goes to the new landing page now. So you have saved the collateral cost and it is very much under your control. And of course, there are unlimited scans. And with 50 QR code unlimited dynamic codes, you are sorted. And on the cost part, I'll tell you in the later slides how we can, even save on this and optimize. But let's now focus on what these apps can do for us. The next one I want to discuss is the Flip HTML5 menu. And while there are lots of Flip menus that are available, the basic problem that we are facing when we are promoting F&B is that how do we showcase our menus to guests in an HTML5 or a web environment. When we showcase a PDF, they will be most of the time triggered to download that PDF and look at it, which is not a great experience. You want to show it to them online, right? So the Flip HTML5 site lets you convert your PDF into an HTML5 page and gives you a URL that you can promote across. And any time somebody clicks on that URL, he comes to that landing page and he can see whatever you want to showcase. However, the premium version, which is 22,000 rupees for the full year, has got so many amazing features that it is worth going for it. What the premium version will do is that keeping the URL same, you'll be able to change the landing pages. You'll be able to change pages onto a menu. You'll be able to add an action. So, for example, you've uploaded your menu for food delivery. Now you want to add a call to action that you want to order. Click here and connect to a WhatsApp for business, or you want to give a link for payment gateway, or you want to flash something on it, or you want to showcase a video on top of it, right? You want to white label the URL in the name of your hotel. You want to analyze and track how it's working. There's so many things that you can do if you go for the paid version, and that's how it is justified. However, if you can't go for it for the moment, you must try the free version. The free version has only one drawback, is that when you're on a desktop environment, it showcases ads, uh, which you will have to live with if you're not paying for the tool. And there are also cheaper plans that you can go for. But this one I'm recommending because the features that it has got are simply amazing and we are value for money. The last app when it comes to distribution is Beacon Stack. And now I'm talking about new technologies. So other three you might be already using or be aware of. Beacon Stack as a technology is not very new. It has been there for 4 or 5 years now, but it was not used as much because, we are not living in a post-corona or corona world where, getting in contact with a guest is not happening anymore. So what this technology does is that it uses some beacons or some battery powered low Bluetooth devices which talk to the phone sets of your guests. So there are several use cases. It can be, when a guest is crossing the hotel, you can trigger him with an offer to bring him inside the hotel. If a guest is in the menu, you can trigger him the food specialty for the day. If he's in the room, you can trigger him for payment, right? So you can make a payment and just check out without even need to say, hi or hello to your receptionist. So, basically what it does using your either your Wi-Fi environment or RFID or low Bluetooth, there are a lot of technologies that are in play. But in simple words, it lets you speak to your guest in real time where they are on their phones without the need of scanning anything, without the need of downloading any app, without the need of logging in anywhere. You just connect to them, you can send notification, you can interact, and you can personalize it to the every inch of your property. If a guest is standing in the restaurant, you can give him a separate notification message promotion. If he's in the room, you can do it separately. So it is so seamless and it's so beautiful that it serves its purpose. Of course, it is a costly technology to go for, and the current pricing is around 145K per year. But I believe that more cheaper solutions will come as we move ahead, and we must look out for how this is going to work and play out, because in the new normal, I think this will become normal. I'll just show you a small demo of how this works because this might be new for a lot of you. The term that we use for this is proximity marketing. So you are reaching out to a person in your proximity in real time, and just see this video, understand how this actually works.
Don't you wish that you could reach out to your target audience in real time when they are thinking about buying your products or service or at a place of consumption? Beacons Talk's proximity marketing platform allows you to do just that. Beacons have been placed at social locations such as bars, gyms, malls, office buildings, clinics, and more. These devices have sensors that trigger a notification on mobile devices nearby. Send contextually relevant content such as product information, media, and offers. Capture location intelligence and deliver engagement through your customer's lifecycle. Beacons Talk. Identify, engage, and retarget. Don't you wish?
So with that, we move on to the last section of our tools that we have put together for today's discussion, which is analytics. And when we don't have the right data, it's obviously guesswork that we don't want to do, given the fact that every dollar that we spend or every rupee that we spend has to be justified. So it is very important that we track what is that spend or that campaign doing for us. So very foremost, we have got very popular and free tools like Google Analytics and Facebook Business Manager, which on the respective platforms give us amazing and detailed insights. There's so much data on Google Analytics for your website or for on Facebook Business Manager for your ads or your campaigns that you can just keep exploring them and keep finding trends and insights that can actually help you improve. So you can use Google Analytics to optimize your campaign for more conversions. Similarly, you can use Facebook Business Manager to optimize your future campaigns and post for a bigger and better business impact. We have already touched upon HubSpot in the previous slide where we're talking about the tool like Buffer. And this is an alternative one. This, as Shiva mentioned, is a more better and inclined for bigger organizations which can afford a higher payout. And it has got a lot more solutions than just analytics. It is can be used for marketing, sales, customer service, and CRM, and there are a lot of similar tools which are available, and you can go for the one that serves your purpose best. And the QR code platform we just discussed at the same price, while it is a beautiful platform where with dynamic scans you can limit the usage of collaterals. You can also track how many people scanned that QR code at which location. And accordingly, if you find that this QR code is being scanned more at this point and less here, you might want to move the QR codes or you place them in a more advantageous positions. And this the cost, as we discussed earlier, is again 12,000 on an annual budget. Siva, you want to add anything on the analytics section?
I think it's a very important section that a lot of us, kind of shy away from, but it's one of the most important steps whenever we talk about the success of a campaign, right? These are the tools which really help us understand whether we are going right or where we're going wrong with the campaign. So I think Google Analytics, for every organization that's using a web page, I think Google Analytics is very, very important because it just helps you identify so many things. Like, just by identifying where you're getting most of the traction from, helps you make sure that whenever you're doing your social media ads, you can target those cities particularly, right?
Right.
Even the platforms, it helps you understand which platform is working the best for you. It helps you understand the demographics of your customers. So it's so important to actually start understanding Google Analytics report. And all these tools that we are actually talking about here today are created from a user friendliness perspective. So they are not creating reports, or they are not making different types of aspects into their platform so that it's only understood by someone who's very technically or very sound understanding digital marketing terms.
Right.
It's made for the end user. So that's why Google Analytics is for all of us. Facebook Business Manager, which I see a lot of people shying away from when they want to run ads, it's like an inbuilt feature. Whenever Facebook is rolling out any tool, they make sure that it's understood by everyone and it's easy to use. Facebook Business Manager again tracks down and helps you identify the right target audience for your business. And like for your hotel, it can help you manage all your pages with one location. It can help you push out the right ads. If you have multiple people working from your team on that particular account, it can help you divide it also. Let's say if I'm a hotel and I have restaurant pages and I have my main hotel page, right? Now, how do you manage all of that? That can be done through Facebook Business Manager. You can assign, let's say there are certain queries coming on your your restaurant page, and you want, let's say, the F&B team to look into it. You can assign it, and all of them are there on Facebook, right? So they can answer the questions it's meant to be. So I
Right,
think
and on to add on
Facebook
to that, while Facebook ads is completely different and a vast subject,
correct.
and we'll be looking forward to cover that in one of our coming sessions where we will be discussing exactly what all we can do. And of course, in the previous session, we already discussed how we can use it as a part of family of apps. However, if you wish to learn more around Google and around Facebook, there are free courses run by these companies itself. So Google has got lots of courses on its ad products, on its analytics, everything that you may want to learn. So my recommendation is that learn directly from Google, because in that way your concepts will be clear and not through a third party agency, which is, whose credentials are not very solid. Similarly, for Facebook, Facebook has got tutorials called Facebook Blue platforms, if I remember correctly, and it again teaches you all the aspects about creating an ad and running it, right? So if you learn, if you want to learn more, you should learn directly from these platforms, from their training, which are again free of cost, and make your concept very strong before you run a ad yourself. Because earlier you might be running your ad with an agency, if you're going to do it in house, there is risk involved, and you must really equip yourself with knowledge before you want to do it yourself. Or we could have a solution where only for this paid campaigns, we can have a agency, we can have someone like Shiva support us to just do just paid campaigns. So either you have an expert doing it for you, or you learn and become an expert yourself when we do these ads. And that's a very important thing and a request from our side. We will move on to the revamp strategy as we move ahead, and we look forward for better times when traveling will be more frequent, and the lockdown will slowly ease up. And we have good news, like countries like New Zealand, which have been able to eradicate corona from the whole country. And I think we are looking forward for the similar day for India. It might be a bit far away, but eventually we'll reach there. And when we reach there, and when we're on the path of that, it is very important that we have our revamp strategy in place, how we come out from the situation we are in. And so the three specific points I want to touch here. One is a cluster and destination approach. What I mean here is that whoever you are, in whichever organization you're working, you can always reach out to a bigger team. So for example, in case of Marriott, right, we have a lot of hotels in Pune. So all the hotel team members can work together as one team in the place of working individually, because when you come together, your expertise comes together, you can have more funds pool that you can run for campaigns, and then you should do those campaigns for the whole destination, which is Pune. So this I give an example from a Marriott and Pune perspective, because we have lots of hotels out there. But even if you're part of a chain which has hotels in different cities, you can group together and do something as a group. Now this will have two impacts. Earlier slides we talked about costs of each app that you have to go for if you want to have those features unlocked. Now to give you a very relevant example, right? We all use sites like Netflix and Hotstar, right? Even they are paid apps, and we want to have that content, and maybe we don't want to pay for each of the apps. So what we end up doing, we have got a group of friends. Somebody takes a Hotstar app, somebody takes a Netflix app, right? And you share your logins, and everybody enjoys every content. Neither Hotstar has a problem with that, neither Netflix, and you save your money, which is very important at this point. Similarly, you can do even for these apps. It's not required that every hotel gets a separate login for each of the app. If you've got a cluster like the Pune example, or cluster like a chain example, or even if you're like 6 friends who are working for different hotels, but you work in a very collaborative manner, you can each go for one of these app, which is around say 10,000 per year, so 1,000 rupees per month, right? That's all. And if you're a group of 6 people and you go for the 6 app, you all can use all of them, you can enjoy all the features, unlock them, and also collaborate. Like you can look at what the other person is doing and maybe get inspired by that. So if you have that cluster approach, you reduce the cost drastically, and you'll be able to use these features. Otherwise, when something is free, you are the product, and you will be end up showing their ads on your assets, so which is not a great thing to do. So my advice is that think about this, form groups, decide on which apps or solutions fit your requirement best, decide among yourself who goes for what, create logins. Maybe an app like QR code scanner gives me power to create say 10 logins, and all the our 10 people can use it on their own without the need of sharing the ID and password. So that's one thing which I think is a great idea. If you use that, you'll have all these apps at a much lower cost than what we just talked about. And if you promote a destination instead of promoting each hotel, you'll be actually help revamp that hotel city demand. And when the city demand improves, all of your hotel benefit. But if you end up pushing each your hotel individually, because of your limited budgets, the reach will be far less. So that's something that we must really think about. Second is that this is not the time of promoting too many offers, and Siva also had called out in several sessions earlier that we need to clean up our booking path and have very selected offers. So go for less offers, and we all know what's working. We have discussed around staycation, we have discussed around food delivery, we have discussed around advanced purchase offers that you can take money now and guests can stay later, and there could be more that will be working for your specific city or chain or hotel that you're part of. So go for just select 2 3 offers and promote them as much as you can. That's how it should be done. And with all this, with what all we have discussed in on the previous slide, with the apps, with less offers, with destination, what we are essentially saying is that we have to adapt to the new normal. The times have changed, the world that we live in has changed. It is not going to go back. We have to move ahead and do what's required. And we can't daydream about 2019 coming back. It's not going to come back. The world has moved ahead. So we awake ourselves to that reality and do these things which are very much needed. And in this course, you must will be facing some challenges which are quite normal. And I will ask Shiva to help us, how we can navigate through these challenges from an agency perspective.
So I think what's going to happen is all these tools that we spoke about. Now all of these tools, they sound very nice, right? When you start using it, we know what are the basic problems that all of us face. When we start using a tool, I think the biggest challenge that I think hotels are going to face is on the adoption of the tool, making sure that the tool is fitting their objectives or not, and the roadmap creation around that tool. See, tools are there only to help us and support us and make our jobs easier. But what you need to do is you need to feed in the right data on your tools. You need to set up the tools in the correct way, right? And you need to make sure that you have an entire roadmap attached to with the tool when you start investing in these tools. And I think that is the biggest challenge that I feel once hotels move towards that journey where a lot of the work is going to happen internally. They're going to face, and that's why this is something that I do at my office at Strokeworks. What happens is, as soon as I get excited about a new tool, my team gets very worried. They're just like, oh my God, Shiva's come up with a new tool. Now, what is going to happen to all of us? It'll just take hours and hours of learning and using the tool. And what I do at my end is I always turn the tool into a game or a challenge. So just for example, as soon as we moved on to the lockdown, we had to start using Miro, which was a big change because all of us were so used to sitting in a room together with a whiteboard, talking, putting up sticky notes, drawing out something. And suddenly we are in a digital environment where we're just looking at each other and working. So what I did was I created 2 teams within my office, and I told them that you pick up a single brand, and I want to see an entire marketing campaign being conceptualized and thought about on the Miro board, and we'll have a winner around it. When I introduced a topic like that, what I saw was everyone was so enthusiastic to learn different tools within Miro and start using it and implementing it. We got wonderful fantasy campaigns that we created for Tinder. It was such a wonderful campaign, and everyone got so excited about it that Tinder actually picked it up, that campaign, and they put it up online. And after that one little playful game that we had together on Miro, my team is completely on Miro, and we are drafting out some crazy campaigns, collaborating together, even in the lockdown period, and utilizing it. So I think adoption and roadmap creation are very, very important. And how we get internally the team excited to use that tool. There are so many apps on your phone that you probably know that you've downloaded it once, you've seen the complexity of it, and you've just stopped using it. That should not happen once you've invested money on all these tools. So that still needs expertise, and that's what we are recommending to a lot of hotels, where we come in and we set up the entire tools and roadmap for them. Identifying your social media champion team, very important. I think when you have to do everything yourself, it's better that you make a team around it. So something that I've been suggesting a lot of hotels that we are working with is that identify social media champions within different departments and get them all together to be a part of this. I have a very good example of this. We were shooting once. We were doing a photography session for one of premier hotels in Pune, and when we were doing the photography, we were facing certain challenges. And in that, there was a person who was attached to us to help us from the hotel side, and that guy was an intern with the restaurant. That guy had such brilliant ideas. He had such a brilliant way of working that he made the entire photo shoot easy for us. And that's when I went up to the director of operations and I suggested him that this is one guy that you should definitely have in your social media team because he knows it inside out. He's a good content creator. He's very good with his phone. So I think identifying the social media champion team is something that you guys can probably start doing right now. Even when the hotels are not completely opened up, you know all your colleagues around and what they are posting on their personal profiles. Wonderful way to check what their content direction and the way of thinking is. So I think that's something that we should start building at this time. And the third is the ownership of tools. I think Preetham, you brought about a beautiful point on how all of us don't need to get all the subscriptions. You can start sharing it and working on it, but at the same time you should have a tool champion. So let's say if I have Miro board, I as an agency use Buffer, I use the Facebook business manager. Now for each tool I have my particular person who takes care of that platform, who makes sure that any person from the team who's collaborating on that platform is not screwing up the dashboard or is not making much changes to the way we work. So always having that is important, and that's something that when we get into a hotel, we make sure that if you're asking them to adopt tools, we give them guidelines around it as well, how to function it and the support. So I think these are some of the challenges that you guys can face, and it's important to preempt them right now before we move further. And as I mentioned, don't forget to have fun with the tools. I have a couple of examples what I put in here, what we do within Strobe. So even InShots, for example, I wanted to start utilizing InShots for the stories that we create. So I just created a challenge with the team. I told them, why don't we create like a short ad for Strobe? And I gave them the tool. They started collaborating on Miro, and then they came up with a few things. So I'll just take you guys through it.
So I'll just play them, and after that you can talk about it as well.
Sure.
So how was this video?
So this was, I'll tell you what, now we just wanted to try out this new app that we had gotten. And this particular app had these features of having stock videos as well. But we wanted to create a story, a short story, which was around what's going on right now. And how people are feeling very sad and depressed. And so we wanted to give them a story which talks about nature. And we found these beautiful stock videos there. But the way we tried to use the stock video was, and the creative part here that comes in is putting in that kind of content which relates with everyone, right? And without showing the faces. So that was something that we came up as a strategy, that let's make sure that none of the clips shows faces or anything, and create a short clip story that can go out. And all of this has been done on an app and by one person. Then there was a short challenge that I gave my team, that try to make something around how everyone's talking about 2020 is a bad year. So then one of our team members made this short video.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this was just a fun play on how we saw suddenly again. So from Bus Sumo, we got this trend coming up, which said that a lot of people are talking about how they want to get rid of their 2020 planners, right? So that was a trigger that we got from Bus Sumo. And then we internally within the team, they started using these apps and try to create different stories around it. And this is one of the examples. And I think the third example that we have for you is a longer uh, video content. And you guys will not believe how we created this video. And it was all done in-house and through the apps that we mentioned above.
Which apps did we use to create this one?
So obviously first Miro to plan it out, get the scripting in place, get the right partners in place. Then we obviously shot it over a phone because we did it during the lockdown.
Right.
Then we utilized InShot to do a little bit of editing here and there. Then we used this platform called Fiverr. Fiverr is where you find a lot of freelancers. So we got a voiceover artist on Fiverr to do the voiceover.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's watch the video.
कहानी किताबों की किताबें बयां करते हैं। बरसों पड़े थे यूं बंद अलमारी में, जैसे छूट गया हो बचपन इस काफिर जवानी में। सुलगते हुए जख्मों की आखिर दवा बनते हैं, कहानी किताबों की किताबें बयां करते हैं। दफना दिए पुर्जे फिर भी यूं सोहबत की दुआ करते हैं। मखमली इन पन्नों पर रंग चढ़ा हो जैसे मिट्टी का, बारिश की पहली बूंदों से ख्वाबों को ये रवा करते हैं। कहानी किताबों की किताबें ही बयां करते हैं। किरदार है इसके कई सारे, कई किरदारों को ये पनाह देते हैं। बिखेर कर अल्फाजों को ये जीने की कोई वजह देते हैं। कहानी किताबों की किताबें ही बयां करते हैं। मसला हो इश्क का या जुदाई का गम हो, मांगी है दुआ या टूटते तारों का वहम हो, हर जर्रे को सुलझाए ऐसी सबा बनते हैं। अरे ये कहानी किताबों की किताबें खुद ही बयां करते हैं।
Yeah, I think that was very well done. And so you said you use all internal resources, like the person who's appearing is also from the agency, or you took a external actor?
No, from one of our team members.
Okay.
So completely collaborative. Started discussing on Miro board. We have a lot more videos that we've done under this series. So if anyone feels like watching it, you can go to our Facebook or Instagram, IGTV, and you'll get to see. We did one with my dog as well, Benny. We created a story around him.
Yeah, I saw that. That was really fun.
So
His life full day, what does it does from morning till evening, something like that.
Correct. And what we try to do is that, whenever we introduce a new tool, and that's the point that we were coming on to, that, adoption of a tool needs to be made fun. That's when your team is going to use it. So
Right.
by doing these small activities, everyone got so much into it that now it's become a trend for us. Like, everyone is using these apps within the team. All these apps come with a mobile version, right? So everyone has it on their phone and they are well connected and they are functioning in the new normal, trying to create some exceptional campaigns.
Right. And with that, I think we have come to the end of today's session. And I'm very hopeful that, this was really informative. For me also, there are a lot of things that I learned today in terms of how you are using Buffer and how you're using BuzzSumo. While I was aware of these apps, but I have actually not used them as much. And I will be definitely using them going forward. And I think we have explored some new apps with bringing some new technologies that we must look forward and see how we can make it available to all the hotels at a cost effective way. Even we have a role to play in that. And at the end slide, we have got one of our favorite selfies that I have from Coimbatore, one of my best travel memories that I have. And I'm very proud of that picture. And Shiva is here, in his glorious old fun days, and with a completely different look. So yes, we wanted to share these moments and end on that lighter note. And the very idea of this marketing lens series is to be able to help you as much as we can we are in a scenario where we all are challenged into whichever roles we are playing. And if we can be of any help, if you want to discuss any of these apps or campaigns or explore an idea or whatever, just let us know. And we love brainstorming and discussing and looking at new ways how we can work together. It need not be business all the time. It need not be an agency work. Anything that's related to digital marketing and with what's happening today, please feel free to connect, and we'll love to explore and discuss that.
Right, absolutely. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for joining. And I would love to hear if anyone's using a different tool set. And please do share with us. And we'll come back to you soon with what the next session is going to be all about. And look forward to you guys joining in. And really thankful for joining us on a Saturday. Thanks.
Right. Thank you so much. Have a nice evening, and we'll see you again next Saturday. Take care and goodbye.